Good morning, everyone. This is Eve Rosenberg, emotional wellness coach and author, and your host here at Worthy Ready, the radical self image makeover for women who are ready to live a life they love. Well, welcome to part two. Last week's episode might have gone over a little bit. I like to try to keep all my episodes within 30 minutes. I know your time is valuable, and so is mine. We're busy people. We have things to do, and I don't want to overexhaust you with too much information at one time. So it was a big, powerful episode last week. All the different qualities, the dark qualities that many of us, well, aren't necessarily aware that we have, project them a lot on other people, and we're looking for a way to live peacefully, joyfully, and create a life we love. So, the loser, liar, phony, and fraud. How was it sitting with those? I'd love to hear your comments. Did you find your loser, your liar, your phony, and your fraud? And let me be clear, we're talking about parts of ourselves, qualities of ourselves, not the totality of who we are. These are parts. We have good parts, light parts, and we have dark parts, bad parts. They're all different kinds of expressions of different qualities. So, for example, you may find a quality of yourself, but have a completely different expression than somebody else with the same quality. Remember, every quality has many different expressions, some more extreme than others. The whole intention here is to support you in recognizing that we're made up of many, many parts. The more parts that we reclaim, the more parts that we have disowned growing up, being told, don't be this, don't be that, we start to cut off the parts of ourselves and feel lost, incomplete. We start projecting on other people because it's the only way to make sense of the qualities and characteristics that we see in life. Remember, you spot it, you've got it. I can assure you, some qualities will be harder for you to embrace than others. So, today, I'm going to fill in where I left off last week and give you a little exercise to support you in not only finding the qualities, but seeing the gifts in them. Whenever we see the gifts, it will just up our willingness to be okay with what we see, what we find, and be willing to heal and overcome and be willing to explore. Remember, coming with curiosity and fascination will support you in healing tenfold. Let me take a sip of water. I am going to share a little exercise with you. And then, excuse me, I'm going to support you in discovering another part of you. Well, what could be worse than the loser, liar, phony, and fraud, right? What's a dark quality that will actually make those pale in comparison? One that I'm sure a lot of you try really hard not to be. I'm going to support you in seeing that today as well. Let's start with the exercise. So, for example, loser, liar, phony, and fraud. One at a time, you want to work with them. So, for example, the loser, ask yourself the question, how am I that? When have I been that? If I can't find a way, nothing coming to mind, how could I see myself being that? Give yourself time, come with compassion and love. Don't beat yourself up. This is about embracing yourself, not degrading yourself. So, once again, how am I that? How have I been that? So, for example, I could look at myself and I could look at my marriages, ending in divorce. I could say I was a loser at love. I can see the gifts in all of that also. What did I learn from it? Well, actually, I became closer to me. I've discovered what I don't want in life. I've discovered in relationships what I won't put up with anymore. So the loser has actually had me find different ways to embrace the quality and recognize that if I ever wanted to call on that quality, and let's just say lose at something, quit at something, well, would be great to move on from a relationship that's not working and discover that, well, I'm going to lose this friend or I'm going to lose this partner. It's just not working for me, and I'm willing to be that. That is about embracing the dark and the light. You would do this with every quality. Once again, how am I that? If I can't really find it right away, if it's not coming to mind, when have I been that? Or where could I see myself in the future being that? Let's take the liar, for example. For some of you, if you've had maybe challenges on discovering where you've lied, well, here's a good one. Have you ever lied about your age? Now, I could say to myself, I've never lied about my age. And then I remember, well, yeah, I'm older. I'm almost 68. And when I was a teenager, the drinking age was 18 instead of 21. So when I was 16, I'd go out with my girlfriends and, well, we'd dress up, look a little older. And to get that drink, we'd lie about our age. When have you ever lied about your age? Perhaps on a dating profile or at a job interview. The whole intention here is to support you in recognizing we are everything, whether you like it or not, whether you believe in it or not. We are all that, every single human being. So today, play with that exercise, see the gifts in it. Well, let's go back. Let me backtrack. Where does it pay for me to lie? Well, maybe I don't want to do something and I don't want to hurt someone's feelings. So I'll lie about something. Maybe a friend will ask me if she looks good in something, or does it make her look heavy in something? I don't want to hurt her feelings. I may lie. Listen, there are white lies, there are bigger lies. The whole intention is everything that we have control over, which is we do have control over using these qualities. But if we don't recognize and embrace that we have them, they will use us. I promise you. So it pays to see our dark, and it will support us in seeing our light. So, with all of that being said, sit with that, work with that. Once again, come with love and compassion for who you are, all you've been through, all of your journey you're still going through, the challenges, the triumphs, all of it. And today, I'm going to support you in yet another quality that will serve you greatly in many, many, many ways. And once again, out of my book, uh, Your Happy Life Realized, How to Stop Putting Others First and Yourself Last Now. This is most likely one of the last times I may be reading from this book. I can't promise that, but we are going to move on. I mentioned last week, and we're going to take on a course in red flags. So that's coming soon. I will also embark on that on Instagram. I'll let you know the dates. And that's going to be another book that, well, if you don't have it, you might want to get it. Amazon delivers it very, very quickly. But before I start Red Flags Don't Fade, a course in Red Flags Don't Fade, I'm going to follow this book step by step. So if you're a great note taker, well, you needn't take the notes, get the book, bring a highlighter. We're going to do a lot with that book. And that's going to go over a lot of things I've talked about so far. So, well, to bring everything together from last week's episode and today's episode, let me tie it all together with a beautiful bow and read to you a chapter 18 in Your Happy Life Realized, How to Stop Putting Others First and Yourself Last Now. Also available on Amazon. All my books, by the way, are available, and I have 5 of them, are available on Amazon and also my website, howtobelieveinyou.com. Everything's available there. So let me go over now chapter 18 in the paperback version of Your Happy Life Realized. page 133. I'm going to start out with the quote by Carl Jung: "I'd rather be whole than good." The name of this chapter is called "Are You as Nice as You Think?" Now, let me just backtrack for a moment and tell you this book is very much about people pleaser reform. So, if you're a people pleaser and you're still doing it, well, you're going to want to stop. So, I'm going to explore this chapter with you today, but just let you know that if I talk about people pleasers, that's because that's what this book is about. And I have a sneaky feeling that a lot of subscribers may be people pleasers as well. So, here we go. Are you as nice as you think? What if I told you that with all your efforts, all that you do for others, all the ways you juggle and prioritize others' needs at your expense, that none of your giving comes from a loving and authentic place? Ouch. Instead, it comes from a much scarier place. People pleasing is sourced from fear. It arises from insecurities, negative limiting beliefs, a poor self image, and a desperate need to be loved and accepted. People pleasing isn't about making others happy, it's a self absorbed, selfish, agenda driven need to be validated. For years, I thought I was anything but selfish, and that doing for others all the time made me kind and generous, warm and caring, compassionate and loving. And above all, it was selfless. I didn't understand that what I thought was genuine kindness was more about my need to believe I was valuable and worthy of people's time and love. More important, I didn't know the extent to which I abused myself. Because I wasn't emotionally well enough to depend on myself to make me happy, I looked to others to take care of me. People pleasing behavior results in feelings of emptiness, dissatisfaction, anger, and harsh self loathing. When we cut off our self expression and mold ourselves into what we think others want, we abandon our values at a core level, and it leaves us feeling alone and unsupported. People pleasing appears to pull in love, but it actually pushes it away. The caveat about feeling unlovable is that it can make us appear unloving. Because we fear we don't have what it takes to be loved, we can become insecure and guarded, making us unapproachable and fearful, two qualities that don't exude love. And then when people don't warm up to us, we'll feel even more unworthy than before, which has us create thicker shields between ourselves and others. So when we don't choose ourselves first, we cannot be aligned with what we desire. Instead, we listen to our internal fears about what will happen if we disappoint others, are rejected, or can't take care of ourselves. We ignore our self-care by taking care of everyone else, which isn't loving to anyone involved. We appear to be loving, but we can't give love to others we don't have to offer. Over time, we become angry and exhausted. Eventually, we beat ourselves up and blame others for the way we feel. It's how toxic relationships are born. Turning people pleasing around means confronting the fear that fuels our behavior. The first step is admitting we do things we don't want to do. The second step is being brutally honest and owning that we do things because we fear we'll be seen as fill in the blank, whatever that quality is. Do these two steps, and you'll be closer to accepting how destructive people pleasing is. Really ask yourself, first step, admit what you don't want to do and what you're doing that you don't want to do. Second step, be brutally honest with yourself and own the things that you fear you'll be seen as. Okay? We're going to talk about a big one today. I'm going to share a couple of short little stories with you, revealing that part that I want to support you all in seeing today that you too are a part of. And believe it or not, a dark quality that if you embrace it, if you own it, you can use it at appropriate times and it will serve you and it will serve others as well. So once again, let me get back. Let me take another sip of water. Once again, it's a lot to swallow. No pun intended. Okay. My friend Liz recently told me how she felt compelled to support a friend who was undergoing back surgery at a time when Liz barely had any time to spare. Complicating the request was that her friend needed help with activities that could re injure Liz's back, which was recently bothering her. As Liz was telling her story, she seemed frustrated and angry the more she revealed the details surrounding her friend's request. I asked her, well, Liz, you're willing to risk hurting your back so your friend gets to be careful and not hurt hers. Is that right? Why are you compromising yourself in this way? She looked confused at first, but then realized how funny it sounded and how inappropriate and compromising it would be to hurt herself in order to help someone else. No one seemed to care about her back, including her. A moment later, she answered, I don't want to appear like a bitchy, mean neighbor that doesn't want to help out. Liz realized that she cared more about how she would be seen rather than she cared about helping her friend out. Can anyone relate to that? Well, put a thumbs up if you like this content. And in the comment section, if this resonates with you, let me know that as well. Well, I've compromised myself many times for another, thinking I was such a nice person. I never stopped to think where my kindness and compelling need to please was coming from. When my anger and frustration got the better of me, I realized I was more afraid of what others thought of me than I was in actually bestowing kindness on them. Do you wonder why many people think they'll be rejected once others get to know them? This fear is more common than you might think. These folks continue people pleasing to avoid being exposed for all the negative things they don't want to be. Selfish, angry, mean, phony, and so on. If you want to liberate yourself and live with inner peace, it's best to accept that you're both the dark and the light. As much as you try to hide your dark side, it will be exposed whether you like it or not, and at a time when you least expect it. If you embrace your dark side instead, you'll have more control over how you behave, and you'll minimize your reactiveness. By trying to hide the qualities you don't want others to see, you are unknowingly exposing yourself. Well, have you ever forced a smile when you didn't feel like it? Your real feelings show in your body language, whether you like it or not, your energy, your voice, and even your face, as you try to hide whatever it is you don't want to be seen. And well, I kind of named the quality I'm talking about today. Maybe you picked up on it yet, but well, this story will reveal the quality that I want to support you in seeing today. So we're almost done, and here we go. Years ago, I coached a woman named Larissa who had a pharmaceutical sales job that required her to travel to several cities and meet with doctors in well-known hospitals. Since her trips happened every few months or so, she became friendly with some of the staff she visited. One of these people was a prominent pediatrician named Lewis. Lewis was a flirt. It was known around his hospital because he flirted with all the pretty nurses. Even though he was in a long-term marriage with children, he didn't lose the opportunity to let women know they were desirable and that he noticed them. Larissa was quite beautiful. She was young, slender, and had a vibrant oval face with soft green eyes and flowing blonde hair. It wasn't surprising that Lewis took a liking to her. He didn't hesitate to flirt with Larissa every time she visited. Well, during a session with Larissa, I asked her to find a quality that she didn't like and didn't think she exhibited. Her response was pretty immediate. Mean, she said. I don't consider myself to be a mean person. I replied, okay, well, let's see if we could find a time in your life when you were mean. At first, Larissa was stuck, but then she remembered a visit with Louis in his office when he was coming on more strongly than usual. Larissa was offended but laughed it off because she felt uncomfortable standing up to him and didn't want to be mean. She confessed that instead of warning him, she went behind his back and reported him to the hospital administration. She learned from a staff member that Louis had been given a big warning, and she never visited his office again. Recalling this incident helped Larissa to see that she had a mean part within her. By not confronting Louis, she thought she was hiding how mean she could be. But her mean part came out swinging and led her to go behind his back and humiliate him in a very public way. The question isn't whether Louis deserved to be reported or not. The issue was whether Larissa understood that in avoiding being seen as mean, she took action that was, in fact, quite mean. Her behavior was predictable since sooner or later all the qualities we want to hide come out at the least opportune times in our reactions to behaviors we don't like. Let me assure you, everyone has a mean part, even you. We all have many parts, all the qualities we deem as good and bad. When we embrace that fact and recognize that we can use all our qualities at the appropriate times, we'll accept ourselves more fully and interact with others in healthier ways. Well, there you have it. How are you mean? How are you mean? And if this is one you're resisting, well, let me help you out. You're on a site about a radical self-image makeover. I can assure you, you've been pretty damn mean to you. And I can tell you it's time to stop. Let's start to become whole. Let's embrace all our qualities. Let's use our qualities, our dark and our light, to support us. And I promise you, you will be kinder to other people in ways you can't imagine now. But sometimes it pays to mean it up. So that's your assignment this week. Mean it up. There's somewhere in your life where you could stop being too nice and mean it up a little bit. You've practiced on yourself pretty well. It's not that we want to go out and disappoint people and hurt them on purpose, but some people, I promise you, can deserve a little meanness when it's called for. Set a boundary. Mean it up this week. And I'll talk to you soon, next week, Thursday morning by 10 a.m. Once again, like this content if you like it. Tell your friends. Subscribe if you haven't. You're amazing. I am honored to support you, and I'll talk to you next week.